Section 1. You'll hear a conversation. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10.
Good morning, Heathrow Airport Lost Property Office. How can I help you?
Good morning. I lost a briefcase at your airport yesterday and would like to report it, please.
Certainly, sir. Could you give me a brief description, please?
Of course. It's a very light brown briefcase, about 50 centimetres wide and 30 centimetres high. It's quite distinctive because it has a bright red clasp on the front and red trimmings. The handle is black. My initials AEJ are on the clasp.
Ah, just a minute, sir. I remember a briefcase matching that description being handed in yesterday. At about what time did you lose it?
My flight arrived from Sydney just after 3 in the afternoon. I had taken the briefcase onto my flight as hand luggage. After disembarking, it would have been almost 4 o'clock when I picked up my check-in luggage and left my briefcase at the carousel. It was so foolish of me.
Yes, here is the logbook. I'll just check that it's here. Do you have a pen and paper? You'll need to write down a few things to remember for when you claim your briefcase.
I'll just get that while you're checking.
Hello, are you there?
Yes, is my briefcase there?
It is. When you come to claim it, you'll need to tell whoever is on duty the lost property number. That's EDV 758. Have you got that?
EDV 758, got it.
You'll also need to bring some identification with you, something with your photograph on it. Most people present their passport.
Yes, of course. I'm flying to Austria next week, so I'll pick it up then.
That'll be fine. You'll have your passport with you, no doubt, so that can serve as identification.
My flight is in the evening, so I won't be at the airport until 7 o'clock at the earliest. Will the office be open at that time?
Yes, sir. We're open until 6. Sorry, I mean from 6 in the morning until midnight, every day.
Great. I just need to know where your office is.
It's in the main concourse of Terminal 1 at the airport. Will you be coming by taxi, by car?
I'll be arriving by underground.
OK, in that case, get off at the stop for Terminal 1. Go up the escalator to the main concourse. At the top of the escalator, turn left and you'll see a large departures board, an electronic one. If you face this, you should see our office off to the right, in the corner. It's clearly signposted.
Up the escalator, turn left. Off to the right of the departures board, got it. Thank you very much for your help.
That's what we're here for. I only wish we could return all the items we get handed in to us.
I guess you get dozens of items every day.
Yes, we've built up quite a collection.
What happens to the things that remain unclaimed, if you don't mind my asking?
Not at all. We keep each item for a minimum of 3 months. Twice a year, in June and December, we have a sale. The proceeds from the sale in June go towards the upkeep of the office, and the proceeds from the December sale go to a children's charity. The sales are by auction and attract a lot of interest from passengers and staff, as well as from the general public.
How interesting. One final thing. Who handed in my briefcase? It would be nice to thank them personally.
I'm afraid there's no record of that, sir.
What a pity. Well, thank you very much for your help. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That is the end of Section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to Section 2. Section 2. You will hear a lecture. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 20. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 20.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Sophie West, and I'm here to give you some information and answer your questions about money when you're studying abroad. To obtain any form of entry clearance into the country where you wish to study, you will need to prove that you have enough money to cover your tuition, accommodation fees, and living expenses. Therefore, you need to arrange all your funding ahead of time. Start by working out how much money you will need. I believe that you will be having a presentation on that topic later this week, so I won't go into detail about it now. If you are hoping for a scholarship to help pay for your studies, then start making inquiries and applications now. The chance of arranging a bursary or scholarship or major funding after arrival is minimal, so it is essential to apply before you leave home. To find out what scholarships are available, you can contact the university you intend to study at and the Ministry of Education in your own country for further information. Let's look at possibilities for moving your money abroad. It is very risky to carry large amounts of cash when you're travelling. When the time comes to travel abroad, plan to take just enough cash to meet your immediate needs and send the rest of your funds by another method, such as international money order, bank draft, electronic transfer, or telegraphic transfer. Let's go through those one by one, shall we? You can buy an international money order before you leave, and then when you get to the country you're going to study in, you can pay it directly into your bank account. You can also exchange international money orders for cash at certain places. Remember to take your passport with you when you do this. A bank draft is similar to an international money order, except that you can only pay it into a bank account. You cannot exchange it for cash. Ask to have it made out to you in the local currency and draw on a local bank. That way you will not pay a commission fee when you pay it into your account, and the funds will take less time to clear. That is, to move through the system and into your account. An electronic transfer is when your bank in your home country transfers funds from your home account directly to your account abroad. This is often the easiest way to transfer money, but it cannot be arranged until you have opened a bank account abroad. Telegraphic transfer is the fastest way to send money overseas, but it is also the most expensive. As with an electronic transfer, you can only arrange a telegraphic transfer after you have opened your bank account abroad. It cannot be arranged in advance. Most English-speaking countries place no limit to the amount of money you can bring into the country, but your government may control the flow of money in and out of your own country. In that case, you'll need to find out as soon as possible how to get permission to transfer money, whether there is a limit to how much you can transfer, and what regulations you must comply with. For further information, contact your local bank for advice on how to transfer your funds abroad. When you first go abroad, you will have lots of things to do, and it may be a few days before you are able to approach a bank and open a bank account. And once you do, it may take a while for your transferred funds to clear through the banking system. So altogether, it could be anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks before you have access to the funds you transfer. Obviously, you will need some other sources of money in the meantime. The possibilities include cash, traveller's checks and credit cards. Let's take a look at each of them. As I mentioned earlier, you should not carry large amounts of cash. but do bring a certain amount to cover the costs of your first few days or so. Cash is very useful for covering small purchases, such as drinks and snacks. If any of your dependents are travelling with you, you will obviously need to bring more cash. Most international airports have a 24-hour bank or bureau de change where you can change overseas currency or traveller's checks no matter what time you arrive. However, bear in mind that the exchange rates at these bureaux de change are not very good. Keep this in mind when planning your cash needs. You can also exchange money at banks. In English-speaking countries, most are open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday and on Saturday mornings. If you arrive outside those hours, plan to either exchange your money at the airport or seaport or bring enough cash to cover your needs until the banks open. Traveller's checks are much safer than carrying cash, as they are insured against loss or theft. They can be cashed at banks and bureaux de change, and traveller's checks made out in the local currency can also be used like cash in many shops and restaurants, but check with the staff in each case to be sure to avoid embarrassment. Credit cards are widely accepted as payment in English-speaking countries, and you can also use them to get cash from the machines at banks. However, check with your bank at home to find out how much commission you will be charged if you use your home credit card abroad. It could be quite substantial. Now, let's take a look at.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 3.